It's a Hillsdale College basketball night. I don't care what you have planned tomorrow. We need you at the Dawn Tibbetts Potter Arena. You have a responsibility as a resident of this town to make your voice and your presence known and felt at the arena tomorrow night, because we essentially have two playoff games tomorrow right here at Hillsdale College against Saginaw Valley, and we have three of the players who will be a part of that tonight in our studio. And so let's bring him in right now. Ian Sheldon is on the men's basketball team here at Hillsdale College. Katie Lowry is a senior on the women's team, as is Chelsea Farrell. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Good.
I'm excited about tomorrow night. It's basically playoff time, right? I mean, it's almost, for the guys, it is win or go home. You're done if you lose, right?
Yeah, we're finished. We have to win tomorrow night, and then Northwood has to lose, so we're kind of counting on Lake State to come up big for us tomorrow.
I believe that Lake State's one of the top teams in the GLIAC. I believe that they will have the integrity to play their best players a lot and to try to win that game.
I hope so, too. They clinched the conference outright for regular season, so hopefully they want to go out on top.
My other question, and we were talking about this at your game at Grand Valley on Saturday, was does Saginaw really care at this point? I mean, what's in it for them to try to win that game tomorrow night?
Pride. So I don't think they're going to come out and play us any different than if they
so
were
you're expecting,
in our position.
You're expecting full Saginaw Valley tomorrow night?
I would expect that, yeah.
Okay, you should, just to be on the safe side. But my hope as a fan is that they, we really don't need to win this, and maybe try to quote-unquote rest some of their guys. For the women, it's a little bit different. You could actually lose and still get in. Is that right?
Yes. They have some sort of point system where right now we're basically tied in the standings with Findlay, but we have more points than them. So if we win automatically, which we're expecting to win, but we'll automatically advance. And if we lose and Findlay also loses, we will still advance.
Okay. So a big night tomorrow night at the Dawn Tibbetts Potter Arena. Have you guys all gotten used to the new arena? Do you feel comfortable in there now?
Yes.
Yes.
We love it.
Did it take a while, or was it really quick for you?
I don't know. It took me a little while. Some of the lighting underneath the rim is a little different, but once you're practicing out there, it's not too bad after you get a few shots up.
It seemed like for the women, we were doing so well on the road early on, and you were really struggling at home. And one of the narratives the fans are talking about is, well, they're just not comfortable in the new arena yet. They didn't feel comfortable there or whatever. But that has switched. You've started to play a lot better at home. Did it take you guys a while on the women's side to feel more comfortable, or is that just a myth?
It didn't feel that way, but looking back, maybe that was it, and it would be nice to have something to blame it on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we do feel really comfortable now, so that is a good thing.
You practice in there every single day. Now, when you have your practices, is it in the main arena, or do you have a different practice court?
There's a few courts in that arena, but we usually split the time with the guys on the court. So we usually start on the game court, go through half our practice, and then we'll switch with them and take over the practice court on the other side.
Ian Sheldon, I wanted to talk to you tonight because he's one of the great stories, and one I haven't really covered yet since you've been around, Ian, and I didn't want to lose a chance to talk to you before it was all over. You actually came to Hillsdale College to play football.
Yes.
So you played 2 years for Coach Otter, right?
3.
So you're on the team for 3. Okay.
I redshirted my freshman year.
And then you had some eligibility left and decided to do basketball. When did you know? Did you know all the way that you wanted to try to get on in basketball? Like, when did that thought process start to get going for you?
It was actually over Christmas break would have been my redshirt sophomore year. My brother plays basketball in Virginia, and he played at Vanderbilt. And I went down with my parents to watch the game, and sitting there watching him play, I just realized how much I missed the game and how much I wanted to play again. So I talked to my parents over break and made the decision that I wanted to switch when I got back to school.
So you had to go and tell your position coach or whatever, I'm going to switch my focus to basketball?
I actually went in and talked to Coach Otter first and then talked to my position coach afterwards.
I respect that. You went right to the main guy, the general of Otter's Army, and said, look, Coach, my heart's in basketball or whatever. And what was his reaction to that?
He wished me best of luck. He said, I wish you would stay and stick it out and play football, but he wished me good luck.
Where were you playing in football? What position and how much time were you seeing?
I played defensive end. I played and then special teams. Was kind of rotating in and out for that third year, so I was getting some pretty good playing time.
So you had to have fun. I mean, that's got to be a cool memory that you do have that season where you got some significant playing time in the GLIAC, which is a great football conference. I mean, nobody can take that away from you.
Oh, no, it was a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoyed playing football here.
You had Coach Schreffler breathing down your neck on the D-line. Does he handle the defensive ends?
Yeah, he does both the interior and exterior defensive linemen. So
great guy, great coaches, great football program, but you just felt a tug toward basketball, and you went for it, and you had to change your body, right?
Yeah, I had to lose a lot of weight.
So how much were you, and what was your did you have a plan? Did you have a trainer working with you? Did you have somebody teaching you or coaching you up on that, or did you just do it instinctually?
Well, when I officially stopped playing, I weighed 287 pounds.
Wow.
And then I lost 80, like up until this year, and kind of did it on my own. Like I dieted really hard, a lot of cardio, and changed how I worked out. And it's a lot different than a football weight program, so I had to change a lot of things to get to the point where I'm at right now.
One thing I didn't ask you about was Coach Tharp. I mean, somewhere in there you had to talk to him and say, hey, do you have room for me to walk on or whatever? I mean, what was his thoughts when you came to him about it?
I originally talked to Dan Evans when he was still here because he recruited me in high school a little bit. He was like, yeah, we'd love to have you, but you need to go and talk to Coach Otter before we go any further. So they wanted me to be very upfront with my intentions about that, and I can respect that.
Yep, for sure. And then Coach Tharp was like, you can join our group of 20 or however many they carry.
Yeah, we have quite a few.
So you work really hard on your body. Now, did the college coaches, Coach Tharp or any of the guys, were they giving you some suggestions as you trained too? Or you said you did most of that on your own, just trying to get into basketball shape?
A significant amount, yeah. But I actually started doing the spring workouts with them that spring. So did all the lifting, the conditioning, open gyms, and the individual workouts that spring. So they definitely helped push me in the right direction of where I needed to go.
I'm going to get in trouble here, but when I was a student athlete, I would come off from football season thinking I was in decent shape and then go out for basketball and just flatline. I mean, basketball's hard. From a cardio stand, it's a different demand on your body.
It's a lot different.
The cardio is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot different. It was a tough transition because I was used to having to play for like a maximum of like 10 seconds at a time, and to having to go where you could be going up and down the court like at a pretty fast pace for a good 45 seconds. It was a pretty big change.
Ian Sheldon is a senior on the men's basketball team. They play Saginaw Valley tomorrow night at around 8 o'clock in what amounts to a playoff game for them if the Chargers lose. Their season is over. If they win and get a little help, they're going to make it into the GLIAC tournament, and we'll obviously have the game for you. We'll have the Northwood game on one screen and your game right in front of us as we root for the Chargers tomorrow night. We want to see both teams get into the postseason. So your first year on the team, didn't see a lot of time. Did you think that you would ever get to crack the lineup?
I was just hoping to get like a little more playing time than I did last year. I mean, I played a whopping 8 minutes my first season, which was okay. I mean, I didn't come in and expect to play a whole lot. Like I was playing behind like Tim Dzelski and like Brandon Pritzel, so I didn't expect to really step in and play a whole lot. But I learned a lot practicing against those guys every day. So I'm just glad I have the opportunity to go out there and help the team win some games.
So that was your junior year.
It would have been my true senior year, so my fourth year.
I knew I was getting that wrong when I said that.
That's okay.
So 8 minutes that season. You weren't really that discouraged though. You decided to stick with it and come back.
Yeah, I got myself in better shape. Just wanted to come back and like have a bigger impact this year.
So Ian Sheldon plays football for the Chargers. He switches to basketball and got a season in. Now we had a safety named Scotty Elwer, who was an All-American safety on the football team, used up his eligibility for football. And I don't understand how it works, but he was still able to play basketball somehow. Played 2 seasons of basketball and actually ended up starting for the Chargers his final year and was an impact player. In your case, no real success, at least in terms of playing time as a senior, a true senior. You decide to come out and keep working on it, and now you stand up there and you're getting starts right now for the Chargers basketball team. When you got the call for your first college basketball start, what went through your mind? I mean, it had to be exciting.
Yeah, I was really excited. Also pretty nervous. Like I didn't want to go out there and do something pretty stupid. So I just tried to tried to play my normal game, didn't try to do anything out of the ordinary.
How far ahead of time do you find out that you're starting?
I actually found out while we were on the court. There was about 10 minutes till game time, and they're like, yeah, you're starting tonight. And I was like, okay.
Coach Tharp has tinkered with that starting lineup throughout the season. Lucas Gross started at the beginning of the year along with Nick Archer, and then D. Ware started for a while, and they inserted Pretzer into the lineup, and now you're in the starting lineup. I mean, I think Darius coming off the bench is good because he brings an incredible amount of energy off the bench. And you've seen the impact that he's been able to have in some games. But I just see you as kind of a slow burn this year. Like at the beginning of the year as your broadcaster, I didn't really know much about Ian Sheldon, and I didn't see a lot out of you. You start coming in and playing, and when you're on the floor, it seemed like you were making things happen. Like you played incredibly hard. You were confident out there, even though you weren't getting a lot of time. I think somewhere along the line, you must have proved to your coaches that, hey, I can hang out here at this level, and that had to be a determination on your part to make that happen, to make that impact when you got the time that you got, right?
Yeah, Pistol was actually really encouraging. Like in practice, he was always saying, like, keep doing what you're doing a good job. Like when you get out there, like take advantage of the opportunities you're given. So whenever I played, I just tried to do everything that I had been doing in practice, like rebounding, playing good defense, and like knocking down a shot when I'm open.
I was surprised that you could shoot as well, because when I figured out that you were the football Ian Sheldon, I didn't expect you to have that kind of shooting skill. But the other night, it was one day last week, I brought my kids in to shoot hoops in the afternoon, and we looked over on the game court, and it was empty except for Ian Sheldon with the machine just getting shots off, and you were out there before any of your other teammates were working on it. Is this something that you've been trying to do, is just to develop that skill during the year?
Yeah. I try to get on the gun pretty much. I'm on there pretty much every day. Try to get at least 200 shots up before practice, and sometimes if I can't get in before practice, I'll come back at night and get some more shots up after practice. So just I want to keep my shot how it is, and the repetition really helps.
You had a string where you lost 9 of 11 games. It just seemed like nothing was going right. You'd lose some incredibly disappointing, really close games down the stretch. And John Tharp is such an emotional guy and a great friend. And, I always feel bad for him. I want him to win and have that kind of success. And I could tell, he was disappointed with how you guys were playing during that stretch. Started to pull out of it, had a great game against Grand Valley. Even though we lost that one, it was a really good ball game. How have you kind of turned it around late in the season?
I think we approach every game the same. Like, Coach hates losing more than anyone I know, and he brings that mentality to practice, and we kind of pick up on it. And no matter if we lost the game before, like he says to have a short memory, so we just go into practice and focus on that next game. And, like, we'll work on the things that we didn't do well in the previous game, so we keep building. We've just been building and building, and I think we're starting to play at a pretty high level right now. So
the amazing thing about his program to me, and we're talking to Ian Sheldon, a senior on the Chargers basketball team. They have what amounts to a playoff game tomorrow night at Hillsdale College. What amazes me about John Tharp is the coach speak is they talk about family all the time. But when I'm around you guys, I really sense that. It's not just a word, or you guys are really united. The one fist mentality. I've never seen as many guys never get to play on a team and still seem invested. Still seem like they care about their brothers on the floor. Not every coach can do that, and I really give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, no, he does a great job. Like, everyone, even if you're like the red shirts at the end of the bench, like in a shirt and tie, like they're incredibly invested in the game. They're standing up, yelling, like cheering, like calling out stuff they see because they've been paying attention in practice. Like, Coach just makes you want to play hard and give everything you have to the program, no matter if you're playing 30 seconds or you're playing 35 minutes.
I like the fact that you have some ink, because the Hillsdale College. I went to Hillsdale College. Our the stereotype is khakis and ties and super preppy and all the rest of it.
Sperry's, yeah.
Yeah, and you come out there and you have a decent amount of ink that you feature.
Quite a bit, yeah.
So the fact that smart guys have ink and can play basketball at a high level, that's pretty cool, right?
I think so, yeah. I had a pretty good ACT score, so I'll take it.
it's fun to have some guys with ink on the team and that kind of attitude and swagger because, yeah, we're great students and you guys do really well and you learn about the Homer and Odyssey and all that stuff. But you compete in a level with a ton of great athletes, big-time recruits. It's physical. It's chippy. You have to have an edge. You have to have some swagger out there or you're not going to be able to compete. That's why Cooper's such a weirdo to me. I mean, Coop's a genius.
Yeah, he's very, very smart.
He's like got almost a 4.0 grade point average, and yet he's an assassin on the basketball court.
Yeah, he plays with a mean streak, but he's definitely a very intelligent person.
I've never seen, Timmy D is one of my favorite players of all time because he was so consistent and just filled up the stat sheet every single night. Cooper, I thought was really interesting coming into this year. Could he step into that role as the man, right? Could he be the guy that the team leaned on every single night? Has he responded or what? I mean, the consistency night in and night out from Coop has been amazing.
Yeah, he's done a great job. After losing Timmy last season, obviously he was our best player last year. Cooper stepped up right away. He had a huge game against Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I think Coach Beeline had some really nice things to say about Coop after the game, and he's just been that guy we can go to all season. So it's been nice. If we need a bucket, we can be all right, let's run this for Coop, and we can pretty much count on almost every time he's going to get us that bucket.
I like a kid that can do his calculus homework, put on his jersey, and tomahawk slam one down. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the versatility of these athletes that we feature at Hillsdale College is so much fun. And I'm proud of you guys, and you represent our school so incredibly well.